Hello, friends. Welcome to Level Up with Debbie Neal. I am your host. There is nowhere I would rather be than right here, right now with you. This podcast is all about leveling up in all aspects of our lives. Thank you for being here. I am so grateful. I'm excited to be on this journey with you. Together, we are leveling up. You ready? Hello, my Level Up family and friends. Welcome back. I'm so glad you're here. I want to start off today by saying this. I don't believe we land anywhere by accident. So, you know how sometimes like, oh my gosh, I went to church and exactly that was the message I was supposed to hear. Or I went to a training and that was exactly the message I was supposed to hear. I don't believe you're here today on accident. I know that something inside of you, deep inside of you, is ready for so much more growth, more abundance, more clarity, more alignment. But then sometimes like you're ready for more, but then sometimes we feel stuck. I hate the word stuck. I hate to use the word hate, but it's like stuck. It's like, what do you mean? You're not cemented in the ground, but sometimes emotionally and physically and professionally, we feel stuck or and again, I want to remind you, the stuck is a feeling. It's not a fact, right? So like you could actually pause and say, am I stuck? Am I really stuck? Can I move? And because action solves everything. Okay. So, but mentally you could feel that way or frustrated and you feel like you should be further along by now. And maybe you are reflecting on the past versus building for the future. So what I want to spend a little bit of time today is talking about limiting beliefs. I am sure we've touched on this on many of episodes, but they're going to continue to show up today, your future, and forever. And so as you're leveling up your life, as you're leveling up your success, you're going to break through limiting beliefs. So in other words, if you're like going through the motions and like not getting the result, somewhere in your subconscious mind, there is a limiting belief keeping you where you are. Okay. And so when you break through those, you're going to grow. But then the next set of limiting beliefs is going to come. So this conversation that we're going to have today, I love when I say conversation. You're not talking back to me, but I'm making like we're conversing, okay? Has the ability to completely change how you see yourself and your life. And it's so important. A lot of times people avoid limiting beliefs and they're like, I'm just going to work harder. I'm going to work harder. I'm going to work harder. Like that's not the answer. Because until we correct the beliefs where we are, we're never going to get the results we want. And once we really understand this, once this really sinks in, you will never look at your reality the same way again. And I want you to understand you are limitless and you have the ability to create your reality. So the reality that you're currently living in is a result of your limiting beliefs or your big beliefs or whatever they are, because our beliefs led us to where we are right now. Okay. So this is what we're going to be talking about today. We are living at the level of our beliefs. Our thoughts become beliefs. So like if we're thinking we're not good enough, or we're thinking we're not smart enough, or we're thinking we don't have enough leadership, or we're thinking I don't know. Those become things and our beliefs create our reality. So if somebody were to say, I'm not good enough, okay, every single thing that happens to you in your life and in your business is going to support that belief. And if we want to create a new reality, a reality filled with growth, a reality filled with abundance and expansion, the first thing we need to do is to create that new reality in our minds. So we've said this many times, we operate at our belief level. So I want us to really like pull this apart a little bit, okay? And really sit with it. So if we operate at our belief level, we don't operate at our dream. So you might have beliefs. Let's say a dream. Maybe that dream is a different home or that dream could be a different income level, or that dream could be a top rank in your company. But we operate at our belief level. We don't operate at our dreams. We don't operate at our intentions. And we don't even operate at our desires. Our beliefs are the invisible ceiling over our life. I did this exercise not too long ago. When I say not too long ago, it was 3 days ago. And I set my timer for 20 minutes. And I just started to journal my desires. Like if time was not an issue, if finances were not an issue, if I had more time and more money than I possibly knew what to do with, like there was just like a never ending supply of both. What are the things in life I desire? And just set my timer for 20 minutes. And I challenge you guys to do that because it was really empowering. Like I make a beautiful living. I'm very blessed. But like one of the things I put on that list is to never fly coach again on an airplane. Now that's because I literally just let myself go. But a lot of times I do fly coach. I got to be honest. And the way I justify it is like, oh my gosh, it's like, first of all, now here's a story, but a lot of time I flew first class in December. I fly first class often, but not all the time. And I flew first class and they didn't even give me a snack. Like the flight was under 3 hours, so I didn't even get a snack. I got the same snack that everybody got in coach. So sometimes my way of justifying is like, why am I going to spend that extra money when I'm not even getting a warm cookie? I'm not even getting a meal. Like I'm totally fine where I am. And that's the truth. But what's that limiting belief that would allow me to not fly first class all the time? Okay. So do yourself that desire thing for 20 minutes and just let yourself just get rid of money's not an object, time's not an object, and all the limiting beliefs. It'd be amazing to see what you actually desire in life. So our beliefs are an invisible ceiling over our lives. So maybe you want more money, but if you don't believe you can earn it or that you can manage it, or that you could keep it, you will subconsciously block money. You know, if somebody like just feels like I'm always in debt, I'm always in debt, I'm always in debt, even if you get out of that debt, your behavior will get you right back in debt. And I'm talking, you might be listening to this and be like, oh my gosh, I'm always that person in debt. Yes, your limiting beliefs. You might be like, that's not true. Your limiting beliefs are creating this. Like I believe there's always enough. I believe money is a tool. I believe money is always flowing. I believe money is like a river. I believe money loves me. And it just always works out. It just always works out. So I definitely know that to create the next level of income, the next level of wealth, it comes from the next level of beliefs and getting rid of a limiting belief. And maybe a limiting belief for me could be like a certain dollar amount is more than enough. Is it? Because not all amounts are created equal. And if there was more, that means I could do more for people. I could do more for family members. I could travel more with my family. I could help out my family if they need it. So again, if you don't believe you can earn it or manage it or keep it, you will block the money. If you do attract it, you may wonder why it's like gone before you even realize it. And it's all about limiting belief. Your mind has a minimum. It has a minimum. So we all have a minimum. Like I'm a woman. I don't know if men have this, but it's like I have a number that if I see on the scale and I'm like, that's it. My mouth is shut. Now, what I will tell you from June to August, I lost 22 pounds. And so what happens is I changed that number. The number that used to be like, that's it, I'm done with my bullshit, has changed. So that happens also when you increase your income. That's your new norm. That's your new standard. So your mind has a minimum. Your mind has a belief. It is never having enough, right? If that's a belief that you never have enough or debt or just getting by, you will end up back there all the time. You're attracting it with your mind and your limiting beliefs. You are focusing on it. You know, when people say, I don't like to use the word manifest anymore. I used to use that word all the time until I really began to build my relationship with Jesus. And I'm not saying manifest is a bad word. It is not a bad word. I know that, but I choose to say visualize and focus on because I do believe in the power of the mind. And I 1000% believe if you're going to focus on negativity, you attract negativity. If you focus on abundance, you attract abundance. Like we have that ability to create that in our world. And most of the time, people focus on what they don't want, what they fear versus what they truly desire. So you ever find yourself like, I don't know. I'm afraid I see this all the time with people who are in danger of losing a management title. Like instead of focusing on the future and abundance, it's like, I'm afraid I'm going to lose it. 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 And they go through the whole year thinking like that. And then they're like, oh my gosh, I lost it. Well, of course you did. You actually created that in your life. You were building from a place of scarcity and lack versus abundance and vision. So you might be somebody that wants more confidence, but if you believe that you're not worthy, or if you believe that you're not capable, you will shrink instead of rise. You might want more freedom, whatever that, we all have a different definition of freedom. But if you believe that it's not realistic for someone like you to have more time freedom or to have more financial freedom, you will stay where you are because your limiting belief is that's for other people. It's not for me. And this is why this quote, I love this quote, but it really hits home when you think about these things. Whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right, because your brain will always work to prove you right. So when you believe something deeply, you act in alignment with it, even when you don't realize you're doing it. So trying harder won't change it. Working harder won't change it. It's doing the inner work at the same time as the physical work. That's when the magic happens. So when I started my business, and I've shared this many times, I believed that I was going to the top of this company. My results were also not typical, but I believed I was going to the top of my company in what was considered record time. And because I believed that, my actions were in alignment with that. My activity was in alignment with like that. My vision was in alignment like that. All of it, the way I coached people, the way I brought people into my business, the way I shared my business, because my belief was that's where I was going. And I operated at that belief level. And that's one of the reasons why my results were different. My mindset was different. But if I started my business and believed only 1% make it to the 1%, or it's not the norm, or it's not average, or most people don't, my results would have been very different. So as we expand on this, thoughts become beliefs and beliefs become our reality. So how does this really work? Your brain is constantly listening. So your mouth could be shut, but your brain is hearing your thoughts over and over. You're programming it over and over and over and over again. Every thought you think is a vote for the life you're creating. So are you voting for abundance? Are you voting for fear? Thoughts repeated over time become beliefs, and then your beliefs now shape your perception. You get to create your perception. We have the ability to live in all different realities in our world. You can live in a reality that you are capable, you are worthy, you have everything it takes, you are going to succeed, you are a leader. You could live in that reality, or you can live in the reality that I'm not enough, I'm not worthy, people won't join me. And however you perceive your reality, perception shapes your behavior, how you show up, the habits you form, and then behavior creates your results. You can create and change your perception at any point. So I want you, if you're not there, to be listening to this and be like, I didn't even realize. You guys, friends, this is why people pull away from being an entrepreneur. This is why people tell themselves the story that I'm just going to get a regular job. I don't want to think. I want to turn my brain off. Like, no, you don't pull away. You lean in, because I want to let you know that every reality of how you're going to see your life, build your life, and create your life is available for every single one of us. Your mind creates your reality, and then we work as if it was a fact. So this is a business of the mind, and we could be in totally different businesses, but it's a business of the mind. So when we say thoughts become things, what we're really saying is your inner world becomes your outer world. And if your dominant thoughts are, I'm behind, I don't know enough, no one wants to join me, I always struggle, I never have enough money, it's hard for me, I'm in debt, I'm not a leader, I'm not worthy, then your reality will reflect struggle, hesitation, and limitation. You are creating your reality. And then we look around and we say things like, why does my life look like this? But here is the truth that you may not want to hear. Your life looks like this because of what you've been believing, right? So if you're not where you want to be in your business, do you believe your business is simple or hard? Do you believe there's lots of money to be made, or you don't have enough evidence of that yet? Do you believe in the people that are at the top and thriving, or do you believe that people have quit on their greatness and that's the reality you're choosing to believe? Your life and your business is exactly where it is right now because of what you have been believing. Not because you're not capable, not because you're unlucky, but because belief always comes before creation. You're never going to create what you desire till you believe you can. Your current life is a reflection of your past thoughts. But here's the great news. You can change that right now. So when we dig a little bit deeper, like what are limiting beliefs really? Because limiting beliefs are not loud. That's kind of the killer. They're like the silent killer of your future. They're quiet. They feel normal. They feel like the truth. Like people are like, well, I want to dream, but like realistically, this is what I'm making. Realistically, this is what my team looks like. Realistically, these are my numbers. Realistically, there's only X amount of days like left in the month. And they sound something like, this is just how I am. I've always been this way. People like me don't do that. I can't change now. Money doesn't grow on trees. It's going to take so long for me to succeed. I started too late. And most of our limiting beliefs were formed long before we had awareness of choice. You're choosing your beliefs. So these limiting beliefs were shaped by what you saw growing up, what we heard repeatedly, what we experienced emotionally, and what we make things mean about ourselves. So like if somebody sets a goal and they don't achieve it, you could make it mean, oh my gosh, I am growing and I'm going to crush it next month or the following month. Or you could make it mean, I gave it every single thing I had and I just don't know if I could do it again, and then live in that reality. And here's what's really important for you to understand. You didn't choose these beliefs consciously, but you can choose to release them right now. A belief is simply a thought you've practiced long enough that you've accepted it as truth. And anything that's been practiced can be unlearned. And limiting beliefs keep us stuck and they block abundance. Limiting beliefs don't just limit success. They're limiting your overall expansion. They keep us in familiar patterns, our comfort zone, which should really be called our danger zone, and safe and unfulfilling lives. When we walk away from our greatness, when we don't push through, when we don't recorrect our limiting beliefs, we make our why our excuse and we end up going back to the life that we so desperately wanted to get out of. And all of a sudden that life seems good because we don't have to feel uncomfortable to grow. So limiting beliefs convince us to play small, stay quiet, settle, avoid risk, and delay action. And here's the hardest part to accept. We can totally dislike our reality and yet still keep creating it. I watch people. I know that they're not happy in their reality. And year after year, they are recreating the exact same reality because it aligns with what we believe is possible. Abundance requires alignment, and alignment requires belief. When your beliefs are small, your life will feel small. And then we try to justify it. Like again, part of my limiting thing was like, I don't need to fly first class all the time. And then there was like guilt. Well, there's so many other things I could use my money on, and I have children, and okay. It was a limiting belief that kept me small. Money is like a river. It's constantly flowing. There's so much money to be made. When I made that list of desires, I would never fly coach again. So when your beliefs expand, your life follows. And it's so important to reprogram your mind. You want to make reprogramming a non-negotiable. If you want a year of growth and abundance, it doesn't start with your calendar. It doesn't start with a new goal. It doesn't start with a strategy. It begins between your ears. You will never build what you don't believe you can. Like, let's start right there. You will never attract what you don't believe you deserve. That's why we always say, like, build yourself, and then you'll end up really working with your dream team. But until then, you're going to end up attracting people with small goals, small beliefs, and then you're constantly going to be on this hamster wheel because you can't attract something or someone better than your current level of belief. You'll never take bold action without believing it will work. Like, why would you? Like, why? That's why there's action and inspired action. Like, both of them are action, but one is like that deep knowing, like, I'm creating this result. And this is where so many people get stuck. They try to change the outside. Let me talk to more people. Let me work harder without changing the inside. But the mind must lead before the life and the business and the success can follow. So when we break through limiting beliefs, you know what ends up happening? We're attracting the next level. And here's the part I want you to embrace, I want you to hear, and I want you to get excited about. When you break a limiting belief, you don't just think differently, you become different. You guys, that's what entrepreneurship is. We're growing ourselves. We're becoming the best version of ourselves. And what happens is you begin to attract the next level, build at the next level, and become the next level version of yourself. New beliefs create new energy. Like, somebody's energy you could feel somebody's negativity or their positivity, or just they light up a room or they light up a room when they leave. New energy attracts new opportunities. Opportunities are all around you. Money is all around you. Abundance is all around you. But if you don't believe it's available for you, you're blocking it off. But when you break through those limiting beliefs, oh my gosh, it's like, where all these people been? Where have these opportunities been? They've been there all along. But you were wearing not only rose-colored glasses, you were wearing blinders and you couldn't see it. New opportunities require new versions of you. And this is why growth can feel uncomfortable. You're shedding an old identity. You are literally becoming someone who thinks bigger, acts bolder, and expects more. So I want you to understand how to replace limiting beliefs with expansive ones. So number one, you want to be aware. You cannot change what you don't see. Do that exercise I talked about. If you could have anything in life, do anything in life, like some of the things are going to feel uncomfortable writing down because there's a limiting belief around it. So number one is awareness. You can't change what you don't see. Listen to your self-talk. Notice where you're automatically saying, I can't, or I'm not, or it's just. Number two, question the belief, right? So if you were to say, I'm stuck, is this absolutely true? Is this absolutely true? I'm not good enough. Is this true? Is this a fact? I'm not ready. Is this true? Who told you this? So, right? So question the belief. So ask yourself, is this absolutely true? Who taught me this? Where did this come from? And it could be the people you're listening. Are you hanging around with people crushing goals and leveling up? Or are you hanging out with people making excuses, justifying, or see if the grass is greener somewhere else? Who taught me this? Your circle creates your ceiling. And then ask yourself, is this belief helping me or hurting me? Right? So if we're telling ourselves we're not ready, we don't have enough time, there's only a few days left in the month, I haven't done it yet, is this belief helping me or hurting me? Number three, choose a new belief. Not something unrealistic, but something expansive, right? So instead of I can't do this, replace it with I am doing this. I am doing this. And then feel how it feels to get yourself excited around that belief. Instead of I don't deserve this, say, I am so deserving and I am open to receive all of the abundance and success that are flowing into my life. Number four, reinforce the new beliefs daily. Beliefs are built through repetition and evidence. So I do an affirmation episode every single Wednesday. I don't know if you guys know that. So my full episodes drop on Monday. And then on Wednesday, there's affirmations that are about this episode. So the affirmations that will drop on Wednesday are all about breaking through limiting beliefs. You want to act as the person who believes, speak as the person who believes, decide as the person who believes, and eventually your brain, your thoughts, and your mindset will catch up. So our goal is to become who we are meant to be. And this is like some final thoughts that I want to leave you with today. You don't become the next version of yourself by accident. It will not happen organically. You are not a potato. Okay. You're going to become him or you're going to become her by believing you can. You don't rise into abundance by chance. You rise into it by expanding your mindset. And you don't break limits in your life until you break them in your mind first. So what I want you to ask yourself today, what belief am I ready to release? Like that should get you pumped. Because when you win in your mind, you win in your life. And friends, that is how you level up. I love you. Let's break through those limiting beliefs so you can have the year and the business and the life that you deserve. Love you, friends.